Hello then folks, and welcome back to Glory Hunter. We find ourselves top of the league if you assume we're going to win the games in hand. Which is not, we shouldn't make that assumption, should we? We should not. No. Hello folks, good to see you and welcome back. And before I show you the recent results that we've played, of course, after a very successful transfer window, let's take a look at this league table. So that in all its glory, I don't know, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the fact that Chelsea currently find themselves in 18th or that Burnley are 4th? I don't know. Of course, I've just mentioned that if we win our games in hand, we'll be top of the league. And that is because that's true. Although it does feel somewhat unlike, I don't know, this year's a weird year. The big news is, of course, then that we've lost a game finally, and who we lost it to is maybe the biggest problem of all. We lost it then to Manchester United. It was a 2-1 defeat. Alexander Isaac, you see, scores after 15 seconds, and then we just couldn't hold on for the remainder of the game. Leicester up next, a 3-2 victory there. Pau Torres, I mean, goal-scoring Pau Torres, that's what he's here for. He also got himself another one against HJK in the Europa Conference League, and then Crawley in the Carabao Cup. I played a relatively strong team in that, and we were pretty good for it too. Mudryk getting a goal, as you can see there, late on. And that leaves us then, today, Brighton and Sparta Prague. And on paper, not the most exciting group of fixtures, but there's some method to this. Brighton appear to be kind of where we were last season. And what I'm thinking is if we can beat them, that suggests we're probably where we want to be in terms of that upper echelon type of team. And actually, the big bit of news as we go back to the league table is that seeing Chelsea so far down, a team that are normally in the top 6, and a team like Burnley you'd expect to drop out, it gives me a lot of hope that this year we can be in there, finishing above the likes of Middlesbrough and Crystal Palace and Brighton today. Of course, it's going to be important too, but it gives me a lot of hope for the future. You can see from the average ratings so far of this league season, McAllister, Mitrovic and Mudryk, Eminem, they're looking really, really good. So hopefully, like, if we can carry on in the form that we're playing in right now, we've got a real chance of doing something very special this season. Goal scoring as well, McAllister right up there, Mitrovic, Pau Torres, surprisingly, non-surprisingly from set pieces. We look good for it though. We look really, really strong, and hopefully then get a couple of good results today, and we're just motoring to a quadruple. There, I've said it. Is that too early? Yes. One interesting point is that Paulo Dybala has had a little bit of an injury recently. A damaged foot ruled him out for most of September, but we welcome him back for the game today. But this lineup here that you're seeing in front of you is becoming pretty settled now. Mitrovic missed the game against United that we lost, so that was frustrating, but Isaac did get that early goal. But Kobel goal then, Baku, Nacho, Torres and Target feels a long way from our back line from last season, where it was the Dunburn Botman combination. Declan Rice sitting just in front then, Guimaraes and McAllister in front of him, Dybala one side, Mudryk the other, pushed on a little further, and Mitrovic up top. And it's a system and a team that are working really well right now, and hopefully they're going to showcase that now away at Brighton. I can't wait to lose 2-0. Yeah, Burnley are having an unbelievable season. Weghorst still plays for them up front. He's having a really good time. Oh, I'm just going to do something just to make people less cross. All these players I never use, but should probably have fresher. I'm aware I should do it for you, and I just forget, so I'll do it for you now. I'm making them all available for the 21s. Are you happy? Are we all happy now? We are happy. Good. I will endeavour to continue to do that. But this team has just been rolling, and I've just sort of been letting them roll. It's a Brighton team with Mikel Antonio and Granit Xhaka. I wasn't expecting, that surprised me. They've also got Sarr as well from Watford too. Let's see then, it's away from home. It's always going to be a tough game. It's a long way to travel as well. So let's see if we could just about do the business. They've won their last game as well. So they're a team on the up perhaps. You can see Lallana still playing for them, which is a bit surprising to me in a sense, I guess. But we did take McAllister from them, so maybe that's a part of that. But our team, you've got to say on paper and hopefully on the pitch, just looks like a better animal. We're going to play Sparta Prague after this and hopefully sort of secure our progression in the Conference League. It's not yet the league structure version. It's the final year of the group stage, which actually I think gives us a slightly better chance. Although, no, who knows? Look, in one-on-one games, we talked about it the other day, we should be beating everyone. The big challenge is going to be when those teams drop down from the Europa League into the Conference League and just seeing who decides they actually want to try and win it. Because I think that's largely what the Conference League tends to be about. Are you going to try? Okay, yeah, sure, we'll try too. As Antonio racing forward on their side. Of course, we've only lost one game this season to Manchester United. In every other game, we've looked pretty good. As the header from Baku's really good. Out to Dybala now, who I've got to say, when I signed him, the name Dybala is obviously quite exciting. Lovely move here, by the way. Mitrovic maybe have scored. you'd sign him a little bit for the name, but obviously you can see the technical quality in his attributes alone. And actually what we found is he's been really good. When he's played, he's looked excellent. Again, his injury record, that could cause us a bit of problems. Of course, we're looking for consistency this season. It's partly why there's lots of players unfit, not playing a lot of matches, because I really want to try and nail down this 11. And if they're fit, we play them, because I'm very happy with it. And then the players we bring off the bench, again, the likes of Lamar and Danjuma when necessary, and a few others, like, yeah, there's moments for those players. But actually, I think having a really settled side is tough. We're doing so many competitions, but if we can keep it rolling, then we're going to have to, again, competitions like the Carabao Cup, and if we can secure early qualification for the Conference League, that then gives me the opportunity to rotate. So I'm thinking about sort of the long-term plan, and a lot of these players then will become sort of a Premier League 11, but yeah, ultimately the FA Cup's there to be won this season as well. So we've got to try and manage players smartly, as Mitrovic. We've seen him do it before. He's done it again there. Lovely head down and then played in behind. Big chance and a big goal. Alexander Mitrovic, he was struggling in a disappointing Fulham side last year, but we've brought him to Newcastle and he's a goal machine, viewers. Lovely from Guimaraes in the deeper position, but it's all about Mitrovic. You can see him there, wins the ball, wins the header, and then the ball over the top is really, really nice. Just gets the wrong side. Is that Lewis Dunk racing back? It is indeed. And Mitrovic with a lovely finish. And actually, I'm going to big myself up. I think the transfer window I had was really considered. Like, it took me an extra day than I'd planned to. I think we missed an upload because of it, but it was like, I have to get this right. So often I make transfers that are just sort of for the sake of making transfers, and I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted transfers that really elevated this team where possible, and shifting a lot of the deadwood was a big issue for me, and I eventually just decided I can't wait for that. I have to actually make some transfers. And you seem to like the UNCUT video as well. So, yeah, it's something we can do in the future as well. So thank you for the support recently, team, as ever. It means the world to me. So thank you. They're in, though. Trossard. Oh, this is Brighton's big chance. And Kobel beaten. And Trossard, you'd probably say the best player in the Brighton side, other than maybe Casado, with the goal. It's 1-1. Of course, we're very much alternate universe here, with Mudryk playing for me and Trossard still at Brighton. But, you know, and Xhaka playing too. Mikel Antonio is playing, I've just noticed there, he's playing right wing back. Is that West Ham's Antonio? It is. Playing right wing back. Okay, sure. All right, 1-1. I'm going to say we've been unlucky so far. We've done actually all right. We've just got to convert a few more of our chances, really. I think as the away team, you've always got to be a little careful. Dybala's having a particularly poor game in this one, struggling to get into it, you might suggest. And Mudryk on the other side as well, having a difficult time of it. St Maximin, of course, available to us, as well as Danjuma and a few others. So the options off the bench now, if they're not playing so well, are vast. That was always the issue we had before. Almiron wasn't really the option for me. Sometimes playing Joe Willock out wide. Like, we've really got away from that now, and everything makes a little more sense. As there's Mitrovic again, dropping deeper. Dybala into McAllister, where he's dangerous against his old team. Will he celebrate? Is he going to celebrate? It's quite subdued, actually. I would say that's quite subdued. None of my boys went towards him to high-five him or anything. A respectable goal against his former fans. As Mitrovic then, lovely ball to Dybala. First time to touch from him. Really underrated skill, but really, really impressive. And yeah, sometimes it's knowing when to not do too much. It's 2-1 though. Look at this. An away win against Brighton. We'll take it. Now, Brighton aren't the biggest threat in the world, don't get me wrong, and they're not going for the Champions League. Maybe a European sort of look. Maybe if Burnley can be there, Brighton surely think they may be able to be as well. As Mudryk has played in now. Big chance, and a chance just gone begging. It's funny how Dybala has one moment of class, really, playing the ball forward, and suddenly his game doesn't look too bad. But I'm going to take note of the fact it actually hasn't been that great. Both wingers, with the players we've got to bring on in these situations, probably worth bringing on. Thomas Lamar out on that left-hand side for Mudryk, and St Maximin on this near side for us too. I think this could be what does it. Here we go then. 2-1 up though, looking pretty good. We don't really need to slow things down. We can maybe play a little shorter at this point and maybe even go balanced from this point onwards. We don't necessarily need to take quite as much risk with a lead. Away from home though. Who's this? Probably an agent. Wants to know why I didn't sign Luis Suarez, which, you know, understandable. As Brighton, though, with a little bit of possession, we've got to be wary of this. We've got to be our best. As St Maximin, it's not the greatest piece of defending you've ever seen, but obviously he's not really there for that. As they're racing forward, Sarr has come on for them. On that far side, chipped back in. Terrier's there, and Terrier scores. It's a really nice move from Brighton that we should probably do better from. That's one moment where you maybe question Nacho's aerial ability a little bit. Kobel well beaten. If we look at it again, does he sort of hang on to Nacho? Because Pau Torres is obviously the dominant player we've got in the air. He does. He sort of lingers on Nacho, wins the header. Nacho's so good positionally. The amount of covering he does is really impressive too. But We've been a little bit found out there. This is why you should make substitutions. Everyone says make subs, Ben. You've got to make subs. Keep rotating. Your players are going to be knackered. Yeah, do that. Then we get absolutely destroyed. Ball played over towards Trossard. It's not defended well. It was defended a little bit questionably, but actually Torres remained very, very calm, and he's back on it again into Declan Rice. We don't really want to launch this forward. We can play this into a wide area maybe and work something. It's very, very patient for us. As yeah, that was really nice actually. And you can see the amount of Brighton players now committed in this area of the pitch. If McAllister gets this right, something magical could happen. You can see Brighton have pushed on, and actually they've now got the advantage because there's so many players forward. Is that going to be a goal? Oh my God, I can't believe what I've seen. There's no way. There's no way that's the goal I've considered. I've never considered a goal like that, I don't think. It's a 25-yard lob. I thought we were in good there. Lamar in behind could have been the ball. Maybe we should have played more direct. I don't know. Veltman launches one forward, and then Trossard lays it back. It's so calculated. That's what I hate about it. It's one of the greatest goals I've ever seen in Football Manager, and it's costing me the game. I can't believe it. Why did I make changes? Everything was so fine. Everything was all right. And I invited pressure from Brighton, and they just went, oh, I don't care for Brighton. We're going to make you look like an idiot. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. The game's done, and I'm too cross to make any more changes. I can't believe that's the goal that's done me. I've got to watch it again, because it's like, it's one touch. It doesn't touch the floor. That's the bit that blows my mind about it. From the moment McAllister chips it forward, the ball doesn't touch the floor until it's in my goal. Trossard with the most casual knockback. I'm not over it, viewers. It's a sensational goal. I've not conceded nor scored a goal. Have you, viewers? Anything like that before? Never seen it before. Is that on Coble? Is that on the defenders? I don't know who to blame. Me? Is it my fault? Maybe it's my fault. Well, we're now no longer de facto top of the league, so that's good. I tell you what, there's ways to lose a game, and I guess that's one of them. I actually can't believe. I've said it before. I cannot believe it. Our balance isn't great, but I mean, that's more of a personal insult. Goal of the month has come in. We actually beat it, which is weird. McAllister scored a free kick. I'm not even sure you included it in the highlights package because it was more about Pau Torres, that one. But anyway, whatever. Terrier came third. Well, okay, now let's find out. Was this better than what we've just seen? No way, by the way. Not a chance this is better than what we've just seen. Here we go then. This is the guy, I can't remember who scored it a moment ago, as I think it's Damsgaard from the edge of the box. Is this better than... No, it's not better. A sweetly struck volley from 25 yards out. I mean, while we're here, this was McAllister's free kick. Like, it's good, but it's not Terrier. So that was so good. Is it Terrier rather than Terrier? I don't know. All right, so injuries flying in. First, Thomas Lamar for a short time, and then Gamada's out for 3 weeks, which is a long time. Definitely going to change the shape of our midfield slightly. So it might be a recall to form for Joel Linton. Here we go. The move we've all been waiting for, viewers. Joel Linton fans been watching every day going, he keeps buying midfielders. I've just realised as well, and I'm going to prepare early, viewers. You know what this means if we're playing the Conference League, don't you? Don't you? Oh, yes, you do. Settle down, strap in, come on. All right, team-wise for this then, we've not registered everybody, which makes it a little bit frustrating, but it does mean we're going to have to make a few changes then within the team for players that can be fit and ready to play. Mitrovic then is going to step out for Isaac, and the Gomares move then. Joel Linton's not registered. Oh, God, I forgot about that. We had to go English. That was the problem. I'm going to play Elliot Anderson in the deep line midfield spot. I don't know if it's like his bag, really. Oh, I'm not sure it is at all. He's more creative in like wider areas, but this is Sparta Prague. Play him anyway, Ben. We've got to get him actually playing football occasionally. On the left-hand side, St. Maximin's going to start from the off. Him and Target already have a really good relationship from last season. And Danjuma's going to play on the right-hand side for Dybala as we try and rotate a little bit. It's still a game I expect to win, hence Trippier's coming in too. And yeah, everything else is fine. Although the bench is not. And sorry to Dan Burn, who still doesn't get to play. And I did try and sell. We are also in the point where Chris Wood doesn't play. So none of us have had a good time, Chris. Don't worry. Just realised I can actually have 12 subs. So unlike me, I might as well put them on there despite knowing, viewers, we won't be using them. Especially with what happened last time. I mean, some of you will say, Ben, that's just unfortunate. But you don't get many comments going, make subs after you make subs and then lose, do you? No. Captain Hindsight's over there. Oh, God, this will cheer me up. It's so sensual when I do it. It's just great music. I won't do this I've realised, you know what? I won't do this every time. So, do you know what? I should have put them in. Shouldn't have put him in. And do you know what? Search it on Spotify, play it for yourself. It's so good. Compared to the champion, it's so good. All right, away from home, let's just see then, can we get ourselves back on track? We could, yes, rotate more for this, but I said before, let's try and get this group one early. And then the last 3 games or so, we can kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit. But let's just get this one now. Trippier then, set piece machine, back on the pitch for the first time in a little while. Towards McAllister, cleared away as far as Danjuma, who's getting his first start for a little while too. There's McAllister through the legs of the keeper, and it's 1-0 Newcastle. Come on, we're hunting for glory. What we're going to do then, folks, is because we've done sort of a league campaign that was a little bit haphazard last season, we are going to move this series on a little quicker towards some of the more important FA Cup and Europa League games. But I thought sort of an early season update, especially after the transfers, was worth doing as that ball has gone through the crotch of that goalkeeper. But we'll ignore that because we love Football Manager. Right, guys? Sparta Prague, though, I've got to say that they're not a terrible team, as this is their one big moment, maybe their one big highlight. Are they going to get a ball into the walls of that post? It's quite an even situation in the middle. Not that even. They had the advantage. Suddenly with the goal, and it's 1-1. Well, maybe if I'm losing, I'll make substitutions. That's always been my general philosophy. You know, the game had rolled there that I should be leading, and then I decided, I went, re-roll it, boss. Go on, give it another go. They went, okay, we will. And then they screwed me. So well done, everyone. We're getting done a little bit here. Hopefully some of these players that are lacking match sharpness, it's not going to affect things, as they probably should have scored. All right in their own 6-yard box. The ball is launched forwards towards Nacho, who doesn't win the header. And Pau Torres, though, very much on the front foot, wins it back. Now St. Maximin, who loses the ball in pretty pathetic circumstances. You've got to say, like, he's one of the players, actually, that is not too bad for sharpness as the game freezes slightly because Football Manager is well optimised. And that goes just wide again. And actually, since our goal, we are not the better team here. We're going to change up Isaac's role to pressing forward. This target forward stuff, very good for Mitrovic. Isn't working quite so well right now for Isaac, but someone who can definitely play pressing forward pretty adeptly. Get on that last man a little bit more. It might help the likes of St. Maximin with those balls forward as he's pulled up. Are we going to kick the ball out? We're never going to know, viewers. We're never going to know. It's 1-1. It's 1-1 and it's not very good. I don't know how we're not winning. I do. We've not been very good. Keep going. We can still win this. I mean, this is one of those games that was supposed to be a gimme, but after the setback of Brighton, that might be affecting a few of these boys. Again, we've been really good this season. Only defeat to Manchester United and now Brighton, obviously, but to United, it was kind of like, well, at least it's Man United. When you lose to Brighton, a little bit of doubt creeps in. Is that what we're seeing now? As Rice comes back to do some defensive duties for Nacho there. Danjuma, they go hard in on Danjuma, but win the ball back. But he wins it back. Oh, really good from him to see that endeavour, even as a forward player, to get stuck in and win the ball back quickly. Trippier now. Okay, we've got to see that run from Isaac. You could see it there. Trippier was almost looking for it, and it wasn't coming. But now, there we go. And the pace of Isaac, can he put the pressure on? Oh, they've cocked it up. There's the pressing forward from him, and there's the goal. It's 2-1, and that's perfect. As a target forward, he would not have done that. So I'm really, really pleased that we changed up the role. It seemed like a pointless press that actually became very, very important. We're going to see it from the reverse angle. At this point here, you're thinking, well, back to the goalkeeper. Job's a good one. The touch of the defender is horrendous, and Isaac, well, nice to see, still sharp enough to score, and it's 2-1. That's much better. There we go, look. How much money have you spent compared to them? That's not important. The money, it's not about the money. It's largely about the money. As the ball's played in, Torres, there he is. He loves it. Pau Torres' 7th goal of the season. I'll say it now, he's going to get 20. So if you want my corner tactic, viewers, write in and I'll see what I can do. I think the thing is with the corners in Football Manager is that there's like 2 that are really good, and it is massively based on personnel, right? Having corner takers as good as McAllister and Trippier play a big part in that, but also having people that have got really good aerial ability and actually just really good physical abilities, not just the jumping, reach and the heading, is really important. That agility that Dan Burn and Botman lack kind of works, kind of helps in those areas. Just the ability to get that little bit higher, to get that little bit more power, things like that. It seemingly, to me at least, from my experience and my testing actually, has a really big effect. So yeah, good to see. Sparta though, not done just yet though. Are they? Well then maybe they are. It's still 3-1. So Maximin having a really, really difficult and actually quite uncomfortable time out there. Mudrik's going to come on for him. Seems like an obvious switch. As we've got 10 minutes to go, the 2-goal advantage, I'm a lot more willing to make changes at that point. We're going to get in Joe Willock. Dan Bird's going to come on for Pau Torres. If he scores a header, I'm going to feel like an idiot. And Sean Longstaff for Elliot Anderson. Why not? I mean, we're 3-1 up. this is probably a good time to rest players. The 2-goal advantage opposed to the 1-goal advantage, I'm actually a lot more comfortable making changes, as the risk is obviously not quite as extreme. We've out-XG'd, sorry, they've out-XG'd me, I should say, and we've kind of got away with it, but it's a perfect away performance in my mind. And there we are then, 3-1 winners in the Europa Conference League. If we take a look at the league table briefly then, you can see just how important this is going to be for us, especially with the other results. Already, a 5-point gap after 2 games. Of course, you only play 6, so that looks really healthy, doesn't it? Another win for us, and we're pretty much through with the way things are right now. A bit of money into the bank as well, although that's not making a huge dent, if we're totally honest. And that's going to conclude then. If you enjoyed today, of course, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. So I will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock for a whole lot more of this. And as I said before, if we just go back very briefly then, we're going to return maybe towards the Liverpool HJK game. So lots of action to bring you. The highlights package for tomorrow is going to be us insane, viewers. I look forward to bringing it to you as we play City a few times in the Carabao, but it's going to get us deeper into December. And then, of course, not long after that, the FA Cup returns. We need to win that. So I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Goodbye. Is there a reason you never let me say goodbye? Or... I don't know. I don't really work it in. Do you want to say goodbye?